So fine guys, can you hear me right now? Audible, clear, because this time there's not going to be much more interruption. Okay guys, so now I'll begin with the lecture. So fine, you guys, if you guys don't know my name, so my name is Mrinal and that is known as that is MRINAL, and unfortunately the chat has again gone off. I mean to say that the way I could have written something has gone off. So we'll forget about that aspect and we'll just continue with the lecture. So I hope you guys have a pencil and pen in your hand, and if you do have it, please follow through whatever I am telling you right now. And any queries you have, obviously you can post it up on the chat window. So the first thing is, what is an offense? If you guys all have understood very clearly, an offense means a combination of voluntary act, a voluntary act that is forbidden by law, combined with the act being voluntary. I mean, sorry, an act which is forbidden by law and combination of that act being voluntary in nature. So what I want to say is, for example, you committed an act of robbery or something, but you were under the influence of alcohol or something like that. So if you are under the influence of something like that, so you are in a state of intoxication. That doesn't mean that you have done the offense. That doesn't mean that you have done the object of it voluntarily. Therefore meaning that the offense, therefore meaning that there was no offense committed. So am I clear with what is an offense, or should I give you something else? So please reply to me on the chat whether I'm clear about what is an offense. Okay, yeah. So now we move on to the next aspect, that is, actually this PPT is not prepared by me and someone help me out. So the spelling of actus reus is ACTUSREUS. Okay, it is not ROUS. So understand one thing guys, when you come to what is an offense under the provision of law, I have given you two taglines 5 minutes ago or maybe 3 minutes ago. Now, what is an offense is, actually, when it comes to law, an offense is a combination of actus reus and mens rea. So, actus reus and mens rea. Is it okay if I combine a little bit of Hindi in this lecture so that I can be a little free while talking? Give me the answer for that first. Okay, so let us move ahead. So actus reus means physical act result. So you guys are sitting at a computer table right now. Take something in your hand and just drop it down. The moment you drop it down, that becomes a physical act which resulted in an object picking up and dropping it down. So you have the first object clear, that is actus reus. Have you understood what is a physical result of an act? Please reply over here. Okay, so now we move to the second aspect, which is required as a combination to make an offense. Okay, make an offense under the provisions of law. The second thing is mens rea. Okay, mens rea, I would like to tell you right now, in the PPT you can see that act is forbidden by law and it must be done voluntarily. So what is the new aspect in mens rea? Mens rea को प्यार से कहते हैं, it is known as intention. Don't confuse yourself with such big words. Mens rea, just basically understand it as intention. If you throw a duster, if for example if you throw a duster or something in your hand out of the window, और गलती से मम्मी आ गई, उनको लग गया, will your mom ever assume that you wanted to hit her? So that will never be amounting to constitute an offense. Am I clear with the so-called Hindi example that I gave you? Mm, okay, so I guess I'm clear with that. So what actus reus plus mens rea, what does that do? It constitutes an offense. It is defined under section 32 of the Indian Penal Code. So can you guys just tell me, it is out of curiosity, of my own curiosity, which colleges are you guys aiming for? Give me only one college and give it to me in the chat box. Okay, so technically you all wish to come to my college itself, so I'm an ex-student. So I hope you guys enter over there and have a lot of fun, have a lot of fun arguing, have a lot of fun as a college mate also. Are you all graduates right now, or is someone just passing out of 12th standard? Can you just mention that also? Okay, so after 12th 5-year course, and I think I had some audio with Chitran, so I could actually make out that he's a guy who's already graduated. So okay, let us move ahead with the next aspect. All the best for you guys. I'm telling you this beforehand before even I start or conclude the lecture. So now I'll tell you how does this act, how does the offense, for example, what are the exceptions in this? For example, if you see exceptions in all these aspects, what are the exceptions? A person who is bound by law, अगर एक police officer कल जाके किसी को पकड़ता है, if there is some drunkard, the drunkard cannot say कि उन्होंने मुझे मारा, he committed an offense. It is the duty on which he is bound by law. So am I clear about that, the first exception? Okay, so I'm clear about the first exception, but what is this? What next aspect can this incline indicate us towards? So, for example, there are four people who come out of the foreign country. चार गोरे आ गए अपने यहाँ पे, and they try to talk to someone, and something happens. Now, what happens is always understand the base of everything. One moment, guys. I'm just having a burp. Sorry. Okay, I'll just okay. You missed the first example, so I'll just tell you the example. The example was very simple. There's a drunkard who's just trolling down the building, and he creates some amount of disturbance. When he does that, what does a police officer do? He generally comes, holds him by his collar, beats him, gives him one or two fatkas, and tells him, "चल यार अंदर चल अभी बहुत नाटक हो गया तेरा." So the person who has been drunk and causing nuisance around, he cannot go and say कि the police officer committed an offense. He is in the uniform, therefore he is bound by law to protect the civilians. And if there is some problem which the civilian is creating by being drunk or some nuisance, so that becomes automatically under the caption of exceptions. So the biggest aspect in all this is, for example, if you go outside, okay, outside this country, and you commit an offense over there, or if you try to uh, okay, so and okay, okay, what is this message? One second, I can see self defense in this category. Okay, so but the thing which I have displayed right now contains exceptions and good faith. What are you seeing? You are seeing something different? Chitranj, I'm asking you. Okay, you're trying to discuss the topic with me. So yes, so this aspect which you are trying to tell me exceptions can have as a mode of self-defense. We will discuss this in private defense that comes up ahead, that is under section 96 to 106 of the Indian Penal Code. Okay, so I'll cover that up slowly, slowly. Just relax and chill. Okay, don't worry. So okay, so the exceptions is bound by law. Now one exception in the exception which I would like to give is, you go from here, you go to the other country, okay, and then you try to defend yourself with something. You cannot say at that moment that you are being governed by the Indian law. It always applies before everything. The law of the land rules. I'll just write it down in the chat box. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys have understood the law of the land rules. Do you need an example on that? Hello. Do you guys need an example on the law of the land? Okay, I guess the remaining people, are you listening? Are you not listening? Okay, I'll move ahead. Okay, Tanmay needs Tanmay needs an example on law of the land. So okay, if that is the thing, then what I would like to say is law of the land. Tanmay, you go from here, you go to the UK, or for example, forget about UK. You go to somewhere Amsterdam, you're high on drugs. Okay, assume you're doing that. Okay, in Amsterdam, you're high on drugs and you're doing some nonsense. And while you are doing that, okay, someone is being killed in front of you, and killing at that place or massacring at that place is normal. You try to save that person, okay, and in fact saving could have amounted to a crime. So that time you cannot say that I was exercising my right of exceptions which are there in my country, okay, because right now you're in Amsterdam, you are ruled by their law. So therefore a country law is always an exception in that country itself. Am I clear, Tanmay, about it? Okay, so now we move ahead. The second exception, that's good faith. Good faith is known as, let me put it very clearly in Hindi. Good faith can be said as, अरे यार मैं उसको बचाने के लिए गया और उसको गलती से कुछ लग गया. For example, there's a lady who is being assaulted or who's being, sexually harassed in front of you. What happens? You go and you pull the lady into your car or into your rickshaw and tell her that let us escape. While you pull it, while you pull her, you cause a slight abrasion near her hand. And if she registers a case against you, you can clearly say, I was trying to save her in good faith because she was being gathered up by so many people. Therefore, you would fall under the caption of exceptions, and the exception category would be good faith. Am I clear once again? Okay, now we go on to the next aspect, that is accident. Okay, what is an accident? An accident is something which you all see in your day-to-day life. Okay, an accident is caused every day in front of you. A bike man hits a car hits a bike. Do you ever think that these people are sitting there or doing or driving a car thinking at home कि आज मैं कफन पहन के जाऊंगा और दो को तो उड़ा के ही आऊंगा? So that is never the case. So what are they doing? They are actually feeling that we'll go over there, we are going for work, and in the event the act which they commit or the offense which they commit is not done voluntarily or intentionally, therefore it is not amounting to be an offense. Okay, because there is no mens rea, there is no intention. Am I clear with the example of accident? Okay, we move next. One moment, I'll just change the slide. Okay, so now we come to absence of criminal intent. Okay, so this is a different topic. So guys, this lecture is going to go at a good pace. So I need you guys to be, for example, as you see in every YouTube channel, they say stay tuned for more. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say stay tuned with me as better as you can. Okay, just sync with me as much as you can, or else you might miss out something that is very important. Okay, now we move to the next aspect, that is over here it's not given that clearly, but I'll just tell you, if you have a paper or something, intoxication, just write down that the section is section for, okay, sorry, this has come somewhere in between. So intoxication is section 84. Forgive me for that, the red line, I tried to write it somewhere else but it still did not come up. So intoxication is section 84. Have you guys written it? Give me a yes or no. You guys can write Y or N. Okay, that's not a problem. If typing three letter is a big task, I obviously understand because you have to concentrate over here also. So yes, intoxication in your general terms you would feel daru pilana. It is not only daru pilana. This can be an addition to medical drugs. This can be an addition to weed, cocaine, and every other thing that you guys can see these days. Okay, so intoxication can be that also. So when intoxication is the thing which comes into play, okay, that time if a person commits an offense, it is not generally connected as an offense. Now you guys might have a excuse saying कल तो कोई दारू पी के मुझे छेड़ेगा तो क्या offense नहीं है? Stay tuned with me. We'll come to that aspect very soon. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with intoxication right now. And can you guys just tell me what section did I say about intoxication? If I said it was 84, I'm sorry, it is 85. Forgive me for that. So can I move ahead with something else? Okay. So the next part that comes is a person who is of unsound mind. Understand one thing, guys. Whenever you read IPC, that is Indian Penal Code, or Criminal Procedure Code, it's all a dictionary. Okay. Whatever you start at one point, उससे similar words ही होंगे तीन चार. So unsound mind comes at 84. Intoxication comes in 85. I hope I'm clear about it. About the dictionary method, this will help you in your college life once you enter in the college. So am I clear about that? Do you guys understand what's the dictionary method? Okay. Okay, we move ahead and we see what is unsound mind. Unsound mind is that person who is unable to comprehend what to do, what not to do. In legal terms, it is also known as a person who is incapable of understanding what is right and what is wrong. Okay, that is very important to understand. So, incapable of understanding what is a very big aspect. An unsound mind person, I'm repeating myself, write it down somewhere. He is incapable to know the nature of the act. That is point number one. And the second part is and he does not know whatever he is doing is right or wrong. So have you guys written down these two conditions for someone being of an unsound mind? Give me a why, guys, if you have not written down, so I'll repeat myself. Yeah. Now we move ahead, and that is intoxicate. Okay, sorry. Next is intoxication, that is 85, which we just discussed earlier. So we move ahead to something different, and that is known as consent. Now, what is consent? Consent is defined in section 87. Okay. Consent is actually not defined in 87. Consent is defined in the Contract Act, but a good amount of relation of the term consent is actually given in section 87 of the Indian Penal Code. Now, what does consent say? Okay, for example, you and your friend, okay, you guys are just sitting, और समझो मेरा lecture चल रहा है, and I have my back towards you and I am writing something. तुमने मस्ती में उसको लात मार दी. Okay, this cannot be committed or taken up as an offense because that will come under the caption of slight harm. Okay, am I clear about it? Can you have the PPT in front of you? Consent with slight harm. Okay, I think everyone's clear with consent with slight harm. Okay, so now one more thing, okay, which I would like to tell you is that this provision provides that the act for which the consent is offered should not be intended to cause death or grievous hurt. Now write it down, guys. Grievous hurt and these aspects come under Indian Penal Code, that is from section 320. Okay, so you guys have to read that to come into conclusion of what is hurt, what is grievous hurt, and other 10 aspects. So before I proceed with that, you guys all know what is death. Okay, so whatever you grievous hurt is basically, अगर मैं आके वहाँ पे तुम सबको एक बार एक एक टपली मार के जाता हूँ, बोलता हूँ अरे लेक्चर पे ध्यान दो, that would be a normal thing which would be considered under the aspect slight harm. Now let us take that on to another level. मैं वहाँ आके तुम लोग सबके सिर पे दारू की बोतल फोड़ता हूँ, which endangers you guys to die. Okay, so that time it is not taken up as slight harm, and that time it is already presumed that there was no consent. Am I clear on the point of consent? Chitran just said yes. Okay, everyone's okay with consent. Okay, so now I'll ask you a question. You have to give me an answer to that. Okay, A and Z. Understand very simply. A and Z. Okay, A and Z agree to fence with each other for amusement. Okay, so if during this fencing, what they do, yeah, fencing ko if do you guys know what fencing is? First tell me that. If you guys know that, I'll tell you. Okay. Mm, Chitran just said yes. If does someone else know what fencing is? Okay. Dhruv also knows. Okay. So fencing is basically, how can I put it in words? It is an art of a fight. Okay. So it is a national wide tournament. People have conducted it and things are bizarre on fencing. Okay. So you and your friend, you both desire to play fencing with each other. So when you do this, one of you gets hurt in a grievous manner. Okay, in a grievous manner, I'm putting this out. Okay, I'm putting this out. So will that make will that make you an offender if you, for example, you just fenced him in such a way that caused grievous hurt? Will that consider you as an offender under the provisions of law? Give me a Y or an N. Okay, I guess you guys have understood the part of actus reus and mens rea because you are not doing it voluntarily. Good going, guys. Now we move up to the next aspect that is known as private defense, which we guys just which we heard from Chitranj 5 minutes ago, I guess. That self defense. Okay, private defense is considered under section 96 and 106 of the Indian Penal Code. Write it down somewhere. I think I've mentioned it in the PPT. Just let me just check it. Okay, so it's not mentioned over here. It's 96 from 106. Can you guys just write it down? Once you write it down, then I can move ahead. Once you're done, give me a Y. Okay, is it okay if I take a minute's break? I need to ask something to the boss. Okay, is it okay for with you guys? Just a moment. I'll just be back. Can I go, guys? I'm asking you a question. So I'll just go out for a minute and I'll come back. Yeah, okay. I'll just be back. Just give me a moment. Okay, Chitransh, okay, Chitransh, Dhruv, and Tanmay, I'll continue with private defense. Are you guys ready for moving on to private defense? Give me a Y or N, something like that. Okay, yes. You guys are ready with private defense. So what is private defense? Private defense is your right of self-defense, but it is broken down into so many parts, and those parts are given in section 96 and 106 of the Indian Penal Code. So what is section 96? Section 96 is that section which enables you to use your right of private defense. Now understand one thing, guys. One point is where you use your right, second is where a section that enables you to use that right, so you call such sections enabling sections. So what is section 96 right now? It is an enabling section. For example, if you are asked a question in the court that how can you exercise your right of private defense, you can immediately answer section 96 of the Indian Penal Code allows me to exercise my right of the Indian Penal Code. Write it down if you want. Section 96 is an enabling section. So once you're done with that, let me know. We'll move to section number 97. Okay, you guys have written it down. Section 96 is an enabling section. So now we move on to section 97. Okay, so section 97 says that you have a right to safeguard your property, your body, and someone else's body also, which is written just below right of recognition of private defense. It is written that right to defend your own property, your own body, and even the body of someone else. Now as I gave you an example earlier, it can be combined with the aspect of no intention, because it is always a combination of actus reus and mens rea. I told you an example where a girl is being harmed outside and you pull her. Once it's not happening, just one line it comes and then it disappears. After that रुक जाता है. I tried, but anyway, yeah. One moment, guys. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so guys, okay, so now we were at right to defend your own property and body and other body. So as I discussed with you the example where a girl is being assaulted outside or being sexually harassed outside your colony, when she's being had dealt with that, you take her, you put her inside your car and you say chalo police station jate. What is this little thing that you did? You defended her. That means you defended someone else's body. And that right, where do you get that right? You get that right under section 97. So am I clear about it? Okay, so now let us break it down. Okay, someone comes to your home. Okay, someone steals your let us assume, what is the best thing that you have? Do you all play PlayStation? I'm just asking as a abundant caution, do you all play PS? Okay, Chitransh plays PS, Dhruv plays, Tanmay, I don't know if you're a girl, so you might or might not play. So fine, that's a different issue. So someone comes in your home and it takes your PS away from you. Okay, so you try to stop him. What section enables you to do that? Give me your answer on the chat. So okay, I guess now with the examples it's been quite clear. Sorry Tanmay if I couldn't give you the exact example of PS. We are guys and guys are mad after PS, including me also. I hope you don't mind being separate among all of us. Okay, so don't take it on heart. I'm just making it as a light statement. So now we move ahead with the next part, that is section number 98. Okay, what does 98 tell you? 98 is the same right which gives all the women's, you can have a right of defense, which is, I think, if I'm not, one second, yeah, which is just over here. 98 is a right of private defense when an unsound mind, misconception or intoxicated person, when this or this person, someone among this category comes and harms you, then automatically section number 98 comes into action. So whoever had a problem that अरे यार कोई बेवड़ा आके मुझे कुछ करके जाएगा या फिर कोई चरस गांजा पी के मुझे कुछ करके जाएगा, obviously you have a right of private defense, and that right arises in section number 98. If you have any doubts, please shoot it on the chat. We'll move ahead. If you don't have any doubts, so you have to tell me a yes or no. Move ahead. Give me some heads up, yeah. Okay, so I think I should move ahead. So if I move ahead, that is section number 99. Okay, section number 99 contains the exceptions which are there to right to private defense. Okay, so section number 99, just give me a moment, because section number 99 of the IPC is very important when it comes to all the aspects. I have some of the sections inside my head and some I'll be just explaining you. Just give me a moment. I'll be coming up with all those things of section 99 of the Indian Penal Code. Understand guys, it's always a dictionary format. Since it's a dictionary format, one will definitely follow the other. I hope I'm clear about that. Okay, so section number 99, I'll just read it out as the paraphrase of the Indian Penal Code says: act against which there is no right to private defense. Okay, so for example, the right of private defense will never extend to inflict more harm than to inflict for the purpose of defense. I know when I said this it was very much confusing. Now let me give you an explanation. A person is not deprived of his right of private defense against an act done or attempted to be done by a public servant, which takes us to the exception number 1, which we said earlier, country law and other things. Okay, we consider one aspect of that to be covered right now. Explanation number 2: a person is not deprived of a right of private defense against an act done, okay, by a public servant. For example, now if a police officer, he tells his constable, so for example a senior inspector tells the constable कि तुम जाके arrest करके आओ. Okay, if he tells it to the constable actually is not to be held liable to inflict some harm on the person. So because he was under official capacity, make sure you have this terminology on your mind, and that is known as, one second, I'll just take the mouse over here and I'll just write it down some. Okay, so it is over here. So that is known as official, I'm sorry, I'm using it for the first time, official capacity. I hope I'm clear. Any person, please, these two things are the key words when it comes to anyone who is in his uniform. For example, a police officer, he comes and he's in a civil dress and he tries to harm you, he is not under his official capacity to do so. So if he is performing something which is not under his official capacity, that means what is he doing? He is committing an offense. Now obviously that offense has to be coupled with mens rea, that is intention, that we will presume right now it is already there, okay? But if he is in an unofficial capacity, he cannot touch you, okay? So am I clear about that? What is an official capacity, what is an unofficial capacity, people who are exceptions to section 99? Okay, so now we come up to section number 100, and section number 100 that deals with when the right of the private defense extends to the body which causes death. Now understand one thing, okay? I'll just read the exact paraphrase which is always there in the Indian Penal Code. Follow with me word by word whatever I say. The right of private defense of the body extends under the restriction mentioned, which I'll be mentioning it to you in some time, to the voluntary causing of death or any harm to the assailant if the offense which occasions the exercise of the right be of any description. So don't confuse yourself with so much. That's why I've given it some thought and I've just given you the exceptions rightly in front of you. Apprehension of death. Now, which of you guys own a dog? Does any of you own a dog? Give me a yes or no. Okay, so Chitransh owns a dog. So, and what breed is it, Chitransh? So please give it to me in the chat. What breed is it? Okay, so it's a golden retriever. So basically, it's a very good thing for everyone else. So let us assume Chitransh right now has a German Shepherd who has not been tamed, who has not been trained, who has not been tamed. Can you guys understand my words, tamed and trained? Give me a yes or no. Okay, and one fine day you guys come to the official branch of Maneuver and you're coming here for your admissions. Unfortunately, Chitransh forgot to keep his dog at his home, and while he was driving and coming with the car, he came up with this German Shepherd who is untamed and untrained. Okay, now when you guys just were climbing towards the stairs of Maneuver classes, the dog starts barking, and you feel after looking at its teeth that it might kill you. Understand my wordings, that what I wanted to say was it might, one second, I'll just write it over somewhere over, it might uh, kill you, okay? So I hope I'm clear about it. What is apprehension of death? Apprehension of death is known as feeling of death. It is known as you feel that it will kill you. So for example in that for example in this present, one second, in this present situation, if unfortunately Chitransh lets his dog out of his leash and he charges upon you, and you somehow in your self-defense give a elbow to the dog, and the dog falls in front of a car which is driving on the road, Chitransh cannot blame you to kill his dog because you exercised your right under section 100 exception number 1, that is apprehension of death. Am I clear? Yes, one more yes, and then I'll move to the next aspect. Actually, I earlier told you this this PPT is not made by me. Apprehension of grievous hurt. It is not gracious hurt. Gracious means खुश होके मारना किसी को. It is a very funny aspect. कोई कैसे खुश होके किसी को मार सकता है? Okay, it's apprehension of grievous hurt. So, what happened, Chitransh? Are you facing some problems? I mean, I can see three dots. Okay, fine. So that's okay. So yeah, apprehension of grievous hurt. So for example, someone is swinging a knife at you. Okay, अब you either feel कि ये चाकू जिस हिसाब से मुझे मार रहा है, the way it is coming towards me, either I might die, or it may cause me a very big injury, therefore known as grievous hurt. For example, if a hole is put inside your liver, won't you consider that as grievous in nature? Obviously, the answer is yes. But at the same time, someone aims to put a knife inside your brain, which reduces all the blood circulation, which therefore results in your death. That you can take it under apprehension of death. Now for example, if I actually openly tell you, जब भी कोई चाकू लेके सामने आएगा, you will obviously have the first feeling, that is apprehension of death, and you will never have the second feeling, that apprehension of grievous hurt. When does the aspect of, one moment, sorry, when does the aspect of apprehension of grievous hurt start? Apprehension of grievous hurt starts generally during wrestling. If I'm not wrong, if I did pronounce myself properly, it is wrestling. In wrestling, sometime one person tries to cause a grievous hurt to someone else, and in his act of self-defense, he counters that move with a better move. I hope I'm clear with that, and that is known as apprehension of grievous hurt. I'm waiting for one more reply on the yes, and once I get it, I'll go ahead. Okay, yeah. So yes, the third place where you can exercise your right to private defense is rape and an offense which is defined under section 376 of the Indian Penal Code, which is already given. So 376 of the Indian Penal Code, what does it what does it show? That if at all a person is raping you, or if at all you're under some sexual assault, you cannot exactly call it sexual assault because that becomes section 354A. So we are not discussing section 354A of the Indian Penal Code, we are discussing section 376 of the Indian Penal Code. So it is very simple. Whenever a rape is being committed, or whenever you feel that this is a rape which is going on to me right now, you have a right to exercise your private defense. Now what is the most important thing in rape? It is a one word thing. Please type it down on the chat box. I'll leave it to your aspect. See, this is actually unfair. Okay, someone who knows the answer, he writes it first, और बाकी सबको chance मिल जाता है copy करने का. Anyway, that's a bit funny aspect. So anyway, that is the right answer. It always depends on consent. Now I'll tell you about a case which has happened during the time of Abraham Lincoln. Okay, this is a far back case. You know who is Abraham Lincoln. Obviously, you guys know. If you don't know, at least you have heard his name somewhere. So, Abraham Lincoln. So, Abraham Lincoln, what did he do? He was conducting a cross examination. And when he was conducting a cross examination, and what does cross examination mean? Cross examination means cross questioning the opponent's witness. Okay, so when he was cross questioning, what he did was he gave a very small thread in the hand of the witness. And what did he do? He picked up a pin. Okay, he picked up a pin, and he said, please put the thread inside the pin. So when the witness was trying to put the thread inside the pin, he tried to move the pin here and there. This exercise, entire thing happened for 5 minutes. Okay, the witness got frustrated, and the witness said, अरे आप ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये पिन क्यों हिला रहे हो? He immediately pointed out to the court, that is exactly my point, your honor. If the pin is not stable, how can any penetration happen, and how can therefore rape happen? I hope you guys understand that, or should I repeat myself? Okay, so I'll just have a sip of water and come. Take a break, guys. Yeah, hello everyone. I hope you guys are back. I'm sorry, I'm back. I just had my water. Okay, so now we have finished rape and gratifying unnatural lust. Have you guys ever heard of the section 377 in our country? There was some ruckus caused because of 377. Have you guys ever heard anything about it? So yes, no, okay. 377 was the section which defines under Indian Penal Code. It defines a very simple thing. Unnatural sexual act will not be permitted under Indian law. Okay. So when two men, or example, let us assume gay sex, okay, or gay marriages, this is relating to that. So when anything unnatural happens, you can definitely use your right to private defense. Okay, now I mean to say very openly, okay, uh, I have to act as a lawyer, and I have to teach you the law in the most open manner I can. So I will be a little bit blunt and obvious about it. For example, this thing which we are discussing right now is known as unnatural lust. Okay, so where does this unnatural lust come? Where does it start from? Well, let it be a male, let it be a female. Where does it start from? Can you give me some pointers on it? Can you give me some pointers on it? Where does unnatural lust start from? Yes, that can be one of the answers, that is mine, but there is something more to it. Because I'll be starting with the most basic kind of an example, and then I'll move towards the mind thing which you just said. Okay. So unnatural lust starts from violence, okay? Starts from violence, and it all starts from a certain aspect, that is by seeing something. Let me be very open about it, because we are lawyers, we'll be facing this in the future also. Okay, you'll be facing rape cases, you'll be facing murder cases. It's a bit difficult for me to be that open, but can I be open? I'm just asking your permission, guys, because if it is okay, I'll be very frank about it. Yes. So now what I wanted to tell you was, it all starts with a certain form of a sexual act. A man and a woman, they start having sex on a daily basis, or maybe on a break basis, but slowly they start developing a tendency, that is violence in sex, which is also known as bondage, BDSM. I don't know, there are many kinds of category. I am an adult, you're an adult, so I hope these terminologies are not distracting you away from the conversation. So now we have to move ahead with that. So what happens? It all starts from violence. It all starts from love. It all starts from something known as lust only. But it changes the man's thinking. It changes a woman's thinking to a very great extent. Sometimes women need it that badly. Sometimes a man needs it that badly. Okay, we have to be fair to both the sexes, guys. I hope I'm clear about that. So now what happens during such time? For example, I have to be very open about it. Man has his copulative organ, female has her copulative organ. Okay, if something unnatural happens with those organs, or during those act, what you actually are committing, maybe a 20-minute act, 50-minute act, I don't know. Okay, so I'm not being that vulgar about it. So whatever that act is, I want to say that during that act, if something unnatural happens, the person on whom the unnatural act is happening, he can immediately exercise his right of private defense. For example, I cannot show you photos and all those things. I hope you guys just get my point here. Because if you guys were officially over here, I could have easily told you what kind of things it was. Okay, I don't want to post a photo or something. So okay, so gratifying unnatural lust, we are covering that. So kidnapping and abducting, we come to the next part, that is section 349. Guys, one thing I want you to be very clear. I want this conversation not from my side only. I am being talking and talking and talking, and I want this to be an engaging conversation. I need some pointers from you also. I know it's an online lecture, but if you have pointers, you have to post it on the chat box over there. Okay, so I hope I'm clear about that, because law becomes really boring when when I'm the only person who's talking and there's no one on the other side. Okay, this has to be an interaction, and I'm telling you very openly. Though I may be the lecturer right now, in law there is always every day you enter the court as a lawyer, every day you have to keep one thing in mind. Today I'm going to learn something new. This is the key word to everything. Today I'm going to learn something new, and the same thing applies to me also. Even though I'm teaching you something, your questions, your queries can make me learn something new. Okay, so now we move on to the next aspect, that is kidnapping and abducting. Kidnapping and abducting, it comes under section 349 of the, sorry, sorry, of the Indian Penal Code. Okay, so kidnapping and abducting can be done from our country also, and it can be done from a lawful guardianship. So now you don't have you don't have a mother, you don't have a father. So your legal guardian generally becomes lawful guardian is your uncle, which you also call as mama. Okay, so what happens in such a time when someone kidnaps you from your mama or your uncle, whoever it is, he is liable to save you. He is not liable, sorry, that's a wrong word. He can enforce his right of private defense under section 100 of the Indian Penal Code, and that right of private defense is enabled from section number 96. That is the enabling section, if you guys all remember. Okay, so now from in why is there a term known as from India, from lawful guardianship? The reason why it is there is because, for example, sometime a child is traveling abroad with a mother, they are divorced right now, but the Indian court passes an order that 6 months custody should be there with the husband, with the father. So in such times, at during those 6 months, who is the guardian right now? It is the husband, the father. If the father somehow tries and manages to take the child into his custody, he is obviously doing nothing wrong because he has an order of the court. But as I told you, if he is doing this thing in a different country, what prevails in a different country? It is always the law of the land that prevails. So I hope that kidnapping and abducting, you guys are clear with that. Okay, let us move ahead and move ahead to wrongful confinement. Guys, always understand in law, write down these three letters. I think I'll be able to write it down with a pen somewhere over here. Okay, first is C, that is confinement. Second is R, that is restraint, and third is O, that is obstruction. Whenever you get an option in the MCQ, give first preference to confinement, second preference to restraint, and third preference to obstruction. Okay, have you guys written it down? Because it will help you score some marks. I'm sorry for the bad handwriting, guys. I hope you guys understand. Yeah, so the first thing is known as confinement, second thing is known as restraint, third thing is known as obstruction. So confinement is what? What exactly is confinement mean? Now, for example, Deven sir has put me in this room, making me conduct lectures towards you guys. Okay, so now if he locks this room from the outside, and I have no escape from this room, then I am being confined into this room. Okay, so am I clear about wrongful confinement? You must not have an option to escape. Understand that. Okay, I am only getting the reply from Chitranj. Is everyone else with me or not? Okay, yes. Okay. So we have done with that. So reasonably cause. Okay. See, understand one thing. Whenever you come to criminal law, okay, understand one thing. Civil law always makes you show that law relates to uh, preponderance of probability. It is a term which will take you some time to understand. It is always known as preponderance of probability. उसमें balance strike किया जाता है. Okay, but in criminal law it is known as benefit of reasonable doubt. Therefore, wherever you go, this word such as reasonable, reasonably, it will be repeated more often, more and more, much more than what you say. Now what I'm trying to say is, can I cross examine all three of you right now and ask you few questions? So you just have to answer me yes or no. Can I start with that? It will be an interactive session also, and it will kind of brainstorm you also. Okay? Okay. So I'm asking all three of you guys, have you guys ever played pool in your entire life? Chitranj says yes. Dhruv says yes. And Tanmay says yes. Okay. So pool as in the small black ball game, if I'm not wrong, am I correct? Okay. Give me the reply fast, guys. This has to be interesting. Okay, so I need a big fat smile on your face when I say something. Okay, when I conclude this. So okay, so now my next question that comes to you is that, is it true to say that you the person who pots the black ball wins the game? In the end, for pool I am trying to say. Okay. So I want an answer from everyone else also, guys. Okay. So my first question to you guys were that have you ever played pool? You said yes. Now I asked you, is it important to pot the black ball, and is someone who pots the black ball is the winner? You guys again said yes. Now my third question comes up is black ball the most important ball in the game? Give me an answer, guys. Is it true to say that the black ball is the most important ball in the game? Okay. So now you know what happens. An advocate starts cross-examining you like this. And just wait for the suspense which comes out. Now what has he proven, I'll just write it down in the chat box. Okay, so that it becomes much clear. Just give me a moment to type it down. One second, guys, I'm just writing it down. Can you guys read my chat if I'm... Okay, so this one little doubt that an advocate has created, that तुमको सिर्फ black ball ही पसंद है, तुम किसी और के पीछे जाते नहीं हो. Had he asked a question to you right now, saying that आप solids भी निकालते रहोगे, stripes भी निकालते रहोगे, क्या ये कहना सही होगा? He would have given a chance to he would have given a chance to you to explain the situation. Never ask a question to the witness that explains the situation. Always be point to point. You all never even in your imagination believe that अरे black ball के बारे में ऐसा बोलेंगे तो how can we even in our dreams think that we are greedy? Now that is the skill of a lawyer. Therefore, this little thing that I just took out as an observation, which I will use in the form of an argument later on. This little doubt is known as a reasonable doubt. Reasonable, the word reasonable, one second, the word reasonable taking us to the last point, that is reasonably causing acid which causes grievous hurt. It is written in a mixed up manner, but what it actually means is if someone throws an acid on someone else's face, okay, obviously, do you all know, will it cause hurt or not? Give me an answer very clearly. कोई ऐसा बोलेगा I just threw acid because it's holy right now? Obviously, no one would say that. So, the word reasonable cause need not be mentioned because throwing acid would definitely cause some hurt. Okay, so therefore, you can exercise your right of private defense towards that. Okay, now we come to the most interesting aspect. Okay, where is Tanmay right now? I cannot see any replies from her. Did she understand the small cross examination that we conducted? Okay, so yeah, that's the reply. So now we move on to the next aspect, that is known as culpable homicide and murder. Okay, so all the conditions have disappeared from here. So I'll just be explaining you what is culpable homicide and what is murder. One moment, guys. I'll just have a sip of water. Just give me a moment, guys. Are you guys with me right now? Culpable homicide and murder. Interesting topics, we have to discuss this, and I'll be putting a very tricky question to you guys, which even the senior advocates, 30 years senior, 40 years senior, they also don't know this information. So the first information which I would like to tell you is, whenever you go into culpable homicide and murder, और whenever you pass out law, जितने भी कलीग आजू बाजू में हो सब बोलेंगे मैं वाडिया गांधी के यहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप कर रहा हूँ, मैं अमरचंद के यहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप कर रहा हूँ. लेट देम डू इट, but just ask them one question. Can you tell me the difference? Can you tell me the difference between culpable homicide and murder? Okay, so this question you have to ask. It's compulsory. Okay, and see the reaction from those guys. Okay, this is a mandate. As a professor, as a friend, I am telling you, ये तो पूछना ही है. कितना भी बड़ा सीनियर आ गया, you have to ask him one question. सर culpable homicide और murder में difference क्या है? Okay, so I hope I'm clear about that. Now let us take culpable homicide into consideration. What is culpable homicide? Culpable homicide is section number 299 of the Indian Penal Code. Sorry for the handwriting again. Okay. Okay, Dhruv, actually your answer, I'll give you the answer for that, but your answer is not entirely correct and not entirely wrong also. Okay, this is correct. All murders are culpable homicide. It becomes a parent and a child relationship. I understand. But wait a minute, because I'll just put one question and I'll tell you the best answer to that. Okay, so first let us discuss culpable homicide right now. So 299 IPC deals with culpable homicide. The important conditions for, one second, yeah, the important conditions for culpable homicide. One is, sorry for that. One is intention. Sorry for the handwriting, guys. The first is intention. Please write it down. The first is intention, and intention is compulsory, guys. This is a must. Okay, first is intention. And can you guys hear me right now properly? I there was some network error. Okay, yeah. First is intention. The second arises from a an or. Okay, so it is like knowing, intention, and knowledge. Knowledge coupled with intention. Okay, if knowledge is coupled with, for example, a person knows कि ऐसा करने से वो मरेगा. Okay, that means he had the knowledge that this certain thing will cause some problem. Okay, some problem as in death. The third condition which is important is that intention, knowing it likely to be causing someone's death. Okay, so now what I would like to say tell you is intention plus the second aspect which I told you, that is intention or knowing and having a knowledge. Let me explain it to you. I know I'm repeating it third time because I have to write. It's making a little bit difficult for me. What I'm trying to tell you is intention when it is coupled with knowledge. So knowledge are of two types. Okay, knowledge are of two types, and the first knowledge that you have is that मैं ऐसा मारूंगा तो confirm मरेगा. First knowledge. Second is that मैं उसे सिर पे मारूंगा तो वो मरेगा क्योंकि उसको ट्यूमर है. So that means brain tumor. Okay, so that means you have the knowledge that if at a certain place also you cause an injury, it can result to death. And at the same time, you know, if you hit him normally, it can cause death. Can you guys understand the difference? Knowledge of an injury which may result to death, knowledge of something that can directly cause death. So I'm okay with culpable homicide right now. So what does intention actually, so what is the most compulsory aspect in culpable homicide? That is intention. Again coming up, intention is compulsory. Knowledge can be either or. Knowledge that he could be completely eradicated from this world, that is being killed, I mean to say, or knowledge of he inflicting an injury upon the person which will result in the death. So am I clear with the knowledge part also? Okay, so now we come to murder. Okay, murder, the murder has very specific directions, and those always have to be important. Okay, sorry for that, I'm getting too much burps. Okay, So yeah, murder. Okay, when you come to murder, murder has important conditions, and everything does not, and everything arises with a compulsion. There is no either or. The first thing is similar to culpable homicide. One second, let me just take the mouse over here. Yeah, the first is very simple. It is known as, I am putting it just I. The first is intention. Am I okay with this? Do you know what is an intention right now? Intention is actually also known as mens rea. Okay. Now we come to the second aspect. Intention coupled with, sorry, that's a plus sign, coupled with knowledge. I plus K. Also an important condition. Okay. So am I clear with how is intention coupled with knowledge? Actus reus plus mens rea. Okay. Which constitutes an offense. Now we come to point number 3. Intention plus knowledge that such an injury will cause death, which we have discussed earlier over here. Okay, over here it was in an either or format, but here it is a must. Okay, अगर मैं उसको तलवार उसके छाती पे मार रहा हूँ तो वो मरेगा ही, लेकिन अगर वो मरा नहीं तो उसको जो इंजरी होने वाली है इसके वजह से तो वो मरेगा ही. Both conditions are important. It is not an either or. Okay, now we come down to point number 4, which is very important in this aspect. That is known as, I call it A P, all probability. Okay, I call this situation as all probability. Now what am I telling you right now? These are the 4 important conditions that are justified for the police to register a murder case. Now all probability means what? अगर मैं एक एक्स आदमी को 10th फ्लोर से फेंक रहा हूँ तो वो मरेगा, मैं वाई को फेंकूंगा तो भी वो मरेगा. ऑब्वियसली नो वन इज आउट देयर actually acting as Superman. Am I right or wrong? Okay, so the third as one more thing, which intention of causing bodily injury, which I told you in point number 3. Okay, this part. So intention coupled with injury like this in its, one second, I'm just writing it down, in its ordinary course. Okay, now what does this mean? Have you ever seen a slaughterhouse in your life? मतलब कैसे पीटा का कोई वीडियो देखा होगा लाइफ में कभी, कैसे जानवरों को मारते हैं. So assume you and a friend, you are working over there. Okay, you both are there, and you are one of those persons who is actually shredding some meat, and he is just standing beside you. You both have some tiff between each other क्योंकि उसको रेज मिल रहा है, आपको नहीं मिल रहा है. Unfortunately कुछ तो होता है, and your elbow seems to hit him. Okay, and his head bangs on the blade which is kept right in front of him, which is actually used to slaughter hen or cow or whatever you like. But what does this mean? In ordinary course of your business, चाहे वो एक एम्प्लॉई होता, चाहे वो आपका बॉस होता, उसको भी अगर वैसा एल्बो लगता और वो अगर ब्लेड पे गिरता तो वो भी तो मरने वाला ही है ना. So there is a very thin line between all probability and ordinary course. Okay, ordinary course is that course which takes you into the business regime. ऑर्डिनरी कोर्स को आपको हमेशा किसी बिजनेस से रिलेट करके ही बताना होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल पीपल वर्किंग इन अ व्हाट यू से पीपल वर्किंग इन अ पेपर फैक्ट्री. ओके, पेपर इज मेड फ्रॉम वुड. जिसको डस्ट की एलर्जी है उसके तो नाक में डस्ट जाएगा तो वो छींकने ही वाला है, करेक्ट. एंड दैट विल देन, and because of that he can then ask compensation from the company's owner. But if anyone with those allergy get into that little area, don't you think ordinarily everyone, or at least a very huge amount of people, can be inflicted with the same allergy? Do you think yes or no? Okay, so this is an aspect which comes under intention coupled with knowledge when it comes to the ordinary course. Now all probability, I would just tell you, take Mr. Superman its example into consideration. SM is a very bad thing to write about Superman, so we can just make a wing over here. Okay, we can make this person appear to be Mr. Superman. Okay, so he is out there, so he's fighting for justice and all other things. Okay, so this is Superman, and why I'm making this stupid figure right now over here is because it will help you remember What is an all probability example? Okay, so all probability example, straight away it should hit you, Superman. So if you put any person or any animal from the 10th floor, sorry, I don't mean to say a bird, okay, a mammal who's bound to live on land, will he survive, or will that animal survive if you are putting it from the 10th floor? Yes or no? Okay, it will not survive. Since the certain person will not survive, what does that become? That ultimately causes death of the certain animal. Once death is caused, you know it now death is now death has taken place. Okay, अब मर चुका है वो. So ultimately my question again arises, I have given you the conditions for murder, I have given you the conditions for culpable homicide. Now I'll tell you some conditions which are exceptions to murder. Okay, exceptions to murder. Let us begin with exceptions to murder. First thing, who has seen the movie Josh of what can you say, of Shah Rukh Khan and Sharat Kapoor? Okay, has anyone seen the movie Josh? Okay, you have not seen. That's okay. Okay. So in that movie, so let us forget about that movie. If you have not seen it, I won't be able to guide you through the movie lines. So what I'm trying to tell you, what happens in that movie, or what happens in a general example, it is that if an act is done with grave and sudden provocation, which is very difficult to prove, in the court, but if you can prove it was done with grave and sudden provocation, you can easily nail the case down, and you come as the exception to murder. So I am writing here GP as grave and sudden provocation. Just let me just see. Okay, here it is not given, sorry. First is GP, which is known as grave and sudden provocation. कोई आपको मारे जा रहा है, suddenly what happens, he hits you somewhere near your ear, okay, and that actually gets sends some sensation towards your body, that you tend to react and you kill him. So what is that? That is grave and sudden provocation. Am I clear about that? Okay, second part is where the act is done exceeding the right of private defense of person or property. Now I'll just change the slide and I'll say, now second ground comes of private, sorry, it is PD, private defense. Now which part do you take into consideration over here? You take section number one. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, you take where is the mouse, you take section 100. I'm sorry, I don't know how that disappeared. You take section 100 into consideration. So when can you exercise your right of private defense to an extreme amount? That is all given under section 100: rape, gratifying unnatural lust, apprehension. So during this time, the second part of this entire aspect, it is, I have written it as PD. PD means private defense. So even if you are exercising your right in private defense, किसी का rape हो रहा है, and during that course he or he kills the person offender, so that is nothing wrong about it. Okay, you are exercising your right of private defense, but do you know how difficult this is to prove in the court? Okay, obviously I cannot explain that in detail right now, but it is very difficult to show in the court that yes, I exercised my right of private defense, मेरे पे कुछ हो रहा था इसलिए मैंने उसको मार डाला. Okay, so now, and you need very good material witnesses for that. We'll discuss that some day later. Coming to the point number 3, which stands as an exception. Point number 3, which stands as an exception, is that when the act is done in exceeding the right by public servant or aiding a public servant. अभी एक public servant, for example, you know, there's a massacre going around. The Prime Minister, for example, अपने मोदी साहब, okay, what he does is he says, go and kill the terrorists out there or do something. So what are they doing over there? They are exercising their right under law, which is an exception which we have discussed earlier also. So उस exception में if you kill someone, it is not taken up as murder. So this I will just put a L over here to explain you this is something regarding to law. The next aspect which is we are going to deal with an exception is number 4. Number 4 is the where the act is done in sudden fight without premeditation. Premeditation का मतलब is very simple, it is pre-planning. Have you ever pre-planned a murder? If you have, then you don't fall under this exception. If you have not planned, for example, what happens is someone is hitting you for just some nonsense, okay? For sometimes you bear it. For example, this is a person who is getting bullied. Let us take an example of that. When he constantly gets bullied ना, एक बार वो उठ के क्या कर देता है, धक्का मार देता है, झटके से उठता है और धक्का मार देता है. He does not even know पीछे खिड़की है. धक्का मार देता है and the person falls down and dies. Now obviously this will come under all probability. Okay, he died, and the state of Maharashtra has to prove that he had intention, he had knowledge. But what is the plea which is going to be taken up by the accused over here? He will say, I did it without any premeditation. Meditation. Okay, how can I write it? Premeditation. Am I clear about it, or should I be clear, because it's a very sensitive topic? Okay. Premeditation means no planning. Okay, and no planning, and it just happens. It's an entirely different game in the court. Obviously we have to discuss that in detail someday else, because it's not that important, but you need your pointers to be in your favor. So point number 5, I call it E, and what I mean by E is euthanasia. Okay, euthanasia. Does anyone know what is euthanasia? Okay, euthanasia is a person giving his consent, saying that yes, I'm going to die, I'm not feeling well, please give me some poison and kill me. Not exactly poison. We also call it mercy killing when it comes to animals. In this case, it is known as euthanasia. Euthanasia. But I would definitely suggest you euthanasia पे कभी stress मत करना. Euthanasia is a subject in which our country right now is still subjective or objective or somewhere lying between over there. Okay, तो जब तक ये डिसीजन का फाइनलिटी आता नहीं है, you will not be asked a question regarding euthanasia. Now comes my question towards all you guys, that what is the difference between culpable homicide and murder? Give me your answers. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes. It's 8:34 on my clock. I'll give you the time till 8:40. Give me the difference between culpable homicide and murder. See, this answer, degree of certainty of death in CH is not that much compared to murder. Okay, now you have a googly in your own answer. Degree to certainty of death in CH. Okay, in culpable homicide and murder, death is a precondition, my friend. मरना तो है ही आदमी को. Okay, so the certainty of death, we cannot discuss about that right now, because in both cases there is a death. Okay. I did not understand. Provocation, private defense, or for example, IPS exercises law by senior. I did not understand this answer, Dhruv. Can you just be a little specific about it? You have 5 more minutes with you. The question is very simply put to you. Culpable homicide में भी आदमी मरता है, मर्डर में भी आदमी मरता है. कल्पेबल होमिसाइड में भी इंटेंशन है, मर्डर में भी इंटेंशन है. मर्डर में नॉलेज है, कल्पेबल होमिसाइड में भी नॉलेज है. अरे तो इतना सब कॉमन है, तो डिफरेंस क्या है? One answer which was given earlier was absolutely right, that culpable homicide is the parent and murder is the child. But explain that to me. In short, जितना छोटा हो सके बता दो मेरे को. How are they different from each other? Well, Dhruv, you're getting somewhere nearly, but see, culpable homicide में intention में death का probability is low. See, how can you say death का probability is low? Because whenever you decide a culpable homicide का case, death is already there ना. डेथ का प्रोबेबिलिटी लो कैसे हो गया? कल्पेबल होमिसाइड में इंटेंशन में डेथ का प्रोबेबिलिटी इज लो. अरे मरना तो उसमें भी है, इसमें भी है. सो हाउ कैन द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ डेथ बी लो? Dhruv is somewhat getting near the answer, but I will not give you the answer right now. At 8:40, I'll give you the answer. Give me an answer. Is Tanmay also in the conversation right now? Think, guys, think. दोनों में मर ही रहा है, दोनों में नॉलेज है, दोनों में इंटेंशन है, तो यार डिफरेंस कहाँ से? ये सर ऐसा क्या सिखा रहे हैं आज, कुछ समझ रहा नहीं है. सो गिव मी द आंसर. If you give up, obviously write give up here, so we'll save some time, okay? Okay, I guess no one's giving up, so I have 3 more minutes on you guys. Think. I can tell you the answer is on the book, on the page right now, okay? On the slide or on the PPT right now, okay? That is one hint. And Dhruv is somewhere near to the answer. I'll give that also. So we are at 8:38. I'm giving you 2 more minutes. No, Chitransh, if you again see, intention may, sorry, inculpable homicide. Dhruv, I'm still telling you, you are very near, but you don't know how to put up an answer. So what I'm trying to say is, Chitransh, if you have just written in CH an act done causes death, murder the injury causes death. ऐसा नहीं है. In culpable homicide, if you see the third point or the second point, intention plus knowledge, okay? नॉलेज दोनों में होना चाहिए, और दोनों में एक चीज कल्पेबल होमिसाइड में एक डिफरेंस है. इफ़ ही आइदर हैज़ द नॉलेज दैट इट विल कॉज डेथ, इट इज़ इनफ फॉर कल्पेबल होमिसाइड. एंड इफ़ ही आइदर हैज़ द नॉलेज दैट एक इंजरी की वजह से वो मरेगा, वो भी काफ़ी है. बट मर्डर में दोनों जानना ज़रूरी है. And now Dhruv, you are totally going out of the topic here. There is no mens rea. Where did you come with that? I am writing that there is intention required in both. इतना अच्छा आंसर स्टार्टिंग में देख के हाउ डू यू टेंड टू ट्विस्ट इट अप ऑल अराउंड. CH authoritative to kill because of reasons, and in murder because I wanted to. No yaar, no, this is not an answer. Because so I suggest I give you the answer, और तुम लोग को जंबल करने से ज़्यादा I give you the answer, because there are specific reasons and counters to whatever you write, okay? Who do you both watch, do Dhruv and Chitransh, do you both watch Crime Patrol sometime in your house? ओके. क्राइम पेट्रोल में व्हेन यू फाइंड अ डेड बॉडी, व्हाट डज द पर्सन से? मुझे एक लाश मिली है. यस और नॉट? ओके, सो आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू, जनरली दे से यहाँ पे एक लाश मिली है सर, ऐसा बोल के दे स्टार्टेड. ओके. बट डू यू नो व्हाट हैपेंस आफ्टर द आफ्टर सम अमाउंट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन? आफ्टर सम अमाउंट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन दे से दैट सर ये तो मर्डर का केस लग रहा है. So you know technically what they do, any body they find, I'll mark it down. 1 second guys, let me just find the marker at the proper place. Yeah, I've got it. Any body they find is known as, sorry, is known as homicide. Okay, any body you find is known as homicide. Now when the police gets into the investigation part, वो लोग सारी छानबीन करते हैं, और ये एक्सेप्शंस जो यहाँ पे दिए हैं ना, इनको रिमूव करते हैं. वो लोग अपना स्ट्रॉन्ग केस बनाते हैं, विटनेस ढूंढते हैं, एंड वंस दे रिमूव ऑल दीज एक्सेप्शंस, दीज 5 एक्सेप्शंस, देन दे से सर अभी मर्डर का केस बनाते हैं. ओके, एम आई क्लियर राइट नाउ? So first the stage is always first homicide and then murder. Okay, so that's why I said Dhruv, you are very clear. You are actually hitting on the points of private defense. पर बोलने को शायद जमा नहीं होगा आपको. You just said private defense exercised by this. तो ये सारे जो grounds है यहाँ पे, these grounds over here, they are all private defense. Obviously private defense है, but first वो लोग को जब भी कोई body मिलता है, they assume it to be homicide. Investigation करते 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 they find out motive कि हाँ boyfriend था, कुछ तो होगा. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज वंस दे कम इनटू दिस एस्पेक्ट दे कैनॉट डिस्कवर इंटेंशन, क्योंकि बॉयफ्रेंड था बोलने से बॉयफ्रेंड को पकड़ा गया या नहीं ये तो किसी को पता नहीं. सो वंस दे फाइंड आउट इंटेंशन, तो उनको मिल गया बॉयफ्रेंड, लेट अस अज्यूम दैट बॉयफ्रेंड इज मिस्टर एक्स, ओके. देन व्हाट दे डू, कल्पेबल होमिसाइड से उनको कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होगा, कोई माइलेज मिलने वाली नहीं है. दे गो एंड क्रिएट विटनेसेस, और इफ़ देर आर विटनेसेस, एक बार उससे उसको पुलिस स्टेशन में रख के 2-4 घंटा अच्छा तोड़ेंगे, सारी स्टोरी का चेन अच्छे से वो चेन बनाएंगे. और ये जो चेन की जो 3 पार्ट्स है, दैट इज़ द ट्रिपल एक्सेस ओवर ईयर, इन तीनों को विटनेस के नाम पे बुलाया जाएगा. वंस दीज 3 guys गैदर अप टुगेदर, देन दीज 3 guys हेल्प देम रिजॉल्व दीज एक्सेप्शंस, ओके. ये एक्सेप्शन से वो लोग हट जाते हैं. एक बार इस एक्सेप्शन से हट गए, देन द FIR इज फ्रेम्ड अंडर सेक्शन 302 फॉर द ऑफेंस ऑफ मर्डर. एम आई क्लियर राइट नाउ? Am I clear or still not clear? Please. Okay, Dhruv has said I am waiting for Chitrans to reply. Okay, Chitrans, I'll explain you again. Okay, again in a very small manner. So listen to me very carefully. Whenever you find a body, it is known as homicide. Listen to me very carefully, Chitrans. Okay, whenever you find a body, it is known as homicide. If you watch a certain series known as Mentalist, okay, if you've watched that series sometime on your PC or somewhere, एनी टाइम एनी FBI और एनी CID फाइंड्स, उनको पहले आके इन्फॉर्मेंट क्या कहता है, हमें लाश मिली है, दैट इज़ नोन एज होमिसाइड, ओके. नाउ मिलने के बाद ऑब्वियसली दे हैव टू इन्वेस्टिगेट. नाउ वंस दे इन्वेस्टिगेट, इन्वेस्टिगेशन चालू है, लेट अस अज्यूम दिस सर्कल विच आई एम डूइंग राइट हियर इज इन्वेस्टिगेशन, ओके. नाउ व्हेन दे आर इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ओवर हियर, उनको डिस्कवरी, दे डिस्कवर सर्टन फैक्ट्स. अरे इस लड़की का एक बॉयफ्रेंड था, इसके घर पे रिलेशन ख़राब थे, घर से प्रेशर था. Then they try to get them into the first into the fragment of culpable homicide. They first try to get them into culpable homicide. तो पहले इधर ढूंढते हैं. फर्स्ट दे सी देख इंटेंशन क्या था यार, मोटिव क्या था. और जिसको मोटिव था, they don't directly go into the knowledge, they just look into the knowledge part and see whether the person is of a sound mind or not. साउंड माइंड है ना, तो इट इज़ ऑलवेज वेरी इजी टू प्रूव इन द कोर्ट कि उसको नॉलेज थी कि ऐसा करने से ऐसा होगा, ओके. सो पहले वो लोग ये दो चीज़ ढूंढते हैं ड्यूरिंग इन्वेस्टिगेशन. ये दो चीज़ मिल गई तो वो लोग को ये चीज़ मिल गया, दे गॉट कल्पेबल होमिसाइड इन देयर फेवर. वंस कल्पेबल होमिसाइड इज़ इन देयर फेवर, वो लोग को केस स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाना है. स्ट्रॉन्ग कहाँ पे बनेगा? स्ट्रॉन्ग तो मर्डर में बनेगा. पर अगर हम लोग ने आज पुलिस में, अगर हम लोग ने आज जाके FIR दर्ज कर दी, कल कोर्ट में इसको जाहिर किया, 6-8 महीने बाद जब केस चालू करेंगे, तो क्या ये मर्डरर ग्रेव प्रोवोकेशन का डिफेंस लेगा, क्या ये प्राइवेट डिफेंस का स्टैंड लेगा, लीगल ड्यूटी का स्टैंड लेगा, ये क्या स्टैंड लेगा बचने के लिए? तो ये ना बचे, इसीलिए मैं पहले कल्पेबल होमिसाइड, इसलिए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं कल्पेबल होमिसाइड का केस अब रजिस्टर ही नहीं करूँगा. मैं थोड़ा ढूंढता हूँ विटनेसेस को, विटनेसेस जमा करता हूँ जो इस केस के आजू बाजू में है, उनको ढूंढ के ये सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ को स्ट्राइक ऑफ कर देता हूँ. अब मैंने सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ को, 1 हफ्ता मैंने उसको पीटा है क्योंकि उसकी कस्टडी मेरे पास है, 1 हफ्ता उसको पीटा है और ये सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ मैंने अभी नेगेट कर दी है. नेगेट की क्योंकि मेरे पास ये विटनेसेस यहाँ पर है. सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ नेगेट करके आज मेरे पास विटनेसेस जमा हो गए हैं. अब मैं जाता हूँ और रजिस्टर करता हूँ मर्डर का केस. नाउ डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज़ मर्डर? ओके, आई नो इट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट थिंग, थोड़ा सा यू हैव टू स्ट्रेस इट ऑन द पॉइंट. होमिसाइड शुरू होता है एंड दिस इज अ स्ट्रेटेजी विच द पुलिस अप्लाइज. मैं नहीं तो मैं इतना, आई कुड नॉट गेट इन टू सो मच डिटेल. आई हैव हैंडल्ड 1 or 2 केसेज एज अ जूनियर एसोसिएट ना, दैट्स द रीजन आई नो दैट हाउ दिस थिंग्स फॉलो. दे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टेंड टू लुक इन टू कल्पेबल होमिसाइड. उनको पता है कल्पेबल करने से ज़्यादा फ़ायदा नहीं होगा, देन दे गो टू मर्डर. पर मर्डर का स्ट्रॉन्ग केस प्रूव करने के लिए दे एक्सक्लूड द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ ऑल दीज प्राइवेट 5 प्राइवेट डिफेंसेस, ओके. वंस दे एक्सक्लूड ऑल दीज 5 डिफेंसेस, देन दे गेट इनटू द, देन दे से टू देयर IPS ऑफिसर, साहेब आता सर्व काम झालेलं आहे, आता आपण केस रजिस्टर करू. ओके, एम आई क्लियर राइट नाउ? ओके, नाउ वी कम टू द नेक्स्ट एस्पेक्ट, दैट इज theft, okay. What is theft? So Dhruv, are you with me on track? And Chitransh, are you with me on track? Or do you need a 2 minutes break? Because it's obviously the lecture is going to end in 15 minutes. Do you need a 2 minutes break, or do you need a break or not? Just tell me that. No break. Okay, so we'll proceed. So section 378, okay, that is known as theft. Important conditions of theft. Just let me get the marker over there. Okay, yeah. Important conditions of theft, as we can discuss. The first condition is theft should be committed on a movable property, okay, that is MP. Second condition is it must be a dishonest intention, DI, okay, DI. The third condition is uh, that moving in order to take such things without his consent. So what is this? It is known as short form PIC, property, intention and consent. So obviously don't put some different word over here to confuse it. One simple thing, it is PIC, okay. First is property, second is intention, third is consent. Now let me give you an example. A cuts down a tree on Z's ground, okay. A cuts down a tree which is on Z's ground, okay. यहाँ पे एक tree है, A cuts it down, okay. A cuts it down. So this is whose property right now? This is the property of Z. A goes ahead and cuts a property from Z. Now this property which was attached to the land, it has broken down into two. Therefore it has become right now a movable property. Am I clear right now what is a movable property? अगर वो लैंड हड़पने की कोशिश करता तो it would not have been a theft, okay. So it is a movable property. Am I clear about movable property? Okay. So okay, Tanmay, long time. I guess you are on a break. Okay, no problem. So here it gets cut right here. The tree gets cut. So one once the tree gets cut, the next thing is A with the intention of dishonestly taking the tree out of Z's possession. Okay. Now there we come up with the question of intention. A with dishonest intention takes up the tree. It is already given in the example while I am speaking. Stay focused. Okay. A with the intention of dishonestly taking the tree out of Z's possession. Who was in the possession of this land in of this tree in this land? It was Z. And now without his consent, a certain thing is been taken away from me, which is MP, that is movable property, with a dishonest intention, without his consent. So what is he committing right now? He is committing theft. Am I clear, or I'll give you an example. Will that be much okay for you? Okay, so let us assume Chitransh, Tanmay and Dhruv, all three of you are sitting in a class. Okay, तुम लोग तीनों एक class में बैठे हो, and suddenly what happens is suddenly who does anyone of you have an iPhone or some expensive phone? Don't worry, I don't have a phone like that. I'm just asking casually. Does anyone have a phone which is more than 35,000 rupees? Okay, so Tanmay has, obviously girls have Papa ki ladli. Okay, you might have. Okay, so okay, Tanmay has a phone which is expensive in nature. Okay, Tanmay is good friends with Dhruv and Chitransh right now. So what happens? Tanmay says that I'll just go to the loo. Please take care and let me know what's happening in the lecture. So when she goes, uh, Chitransh, what does he do? He takes her phone in order to make a call. But what does he do? He picks the phone and he takes it away to his home. So that property right now, okay, this property right now is movable property, that is a phone. Your intention was to make a call and but you took it back to your home, therefore making it a dishonest intention. The permission, okay, yeah, okay, fine, we'll keep the jokes apart, okay. But this time what did Tanmay said? Tanmay said that I'm going to the loo, so please tell me what happens in the lecture. So obviously there was no consent. So therefore what did you do? You committed theft. Am I clear with theft? Okay, and if Dhruv is wondering what was, okay, yeah, I understood it was PIC. I just made M as movable property. As far as Dhruv is wondering what he was, Dhruv, you are a witness to this, और पुलिस आपसे बाद में आके सवाल करेगी. Okay, yeah. Let us move on to the next aspect, that is extortion, that is section 383. Okay, what is extortion? Okay, Extortion is a very important aspect which we'll be discussing right now. One moment. Yeah, the marker is here. Okay. So extortion's important conditions of extortion is intentionally putting a person in fear. I'll put it as IF. Okay, intentionally putting a person of fear of injury. So we'll take it IFI. Important condition: whoever intentionally puts any person in fear of an injury to that person or to any other body, okay, even to any other body, and thereby and resulting on which he induces the person to put or deliver a property. So what happens is, let us take down the condition on the left hand side over here. Intentionally putting fear, intentionally putting fear of inflicting injury, okay, IFINJ, to your own body or other body, okay, which results in dishonestly dishonestly taking your property. What is this altogether known? It is altogether known as extortion. Okay, so what happens is, now for example, if people are in a room, okay, there are four people in a room. So what happens is, one gets kidnapped. Okay, it starts with kidnapping ho chuka hai, and then and from there they call you and they say that sorry, the person who is kidnapped, for example, the person who is kidnapped, वहाँ उसको क्या बोला जा रहा है, और if you are getting a call, देख तेरी बहन को हम लोग ने उठा लिया है, अब तू अगर तेरा ज़मीन या तेरी प्रॉपर्टी या सो एंड सो अमाउंट मुझे देगा नहीं, तू नहीं देगा तो मैं इसे यहाँ मारूंगा. That means he one second, yeah, so that means he is creating a fear of injury on, not on your body but someone else's body who is your relative, which is the first condition is therefore satisfied. Now he's telling you that property de dena, so it dishonestly taking a property from you also. Now this property, understand, this property should be of a nature which can be converted into money. Okay, कल आप उसको पुराने बर्तन ला के दे दोगे, you cannot convert it into valuable security. Okay, उसका उसको 0 rupees मिलेगा, 0 rupees, and that will not be amounting to extortion. He takes a car, he takes a land, he takes some material thing on which of exchange, if he gets something, then that will be of a valuable security. Okay, so if am I clear, or should I give you one more example? So for everyone I would just say one thing: conditions are very important because MCQs are surrounded with these conditions only. Okay, these conditions you have to get it thorough as much as possible. Okay, because IF, injunction, your other body disorder, because the MCQs will contain only these things. Okay, it will only contain these things, and on basis of that you have to find out whether this is criminal misappropriation, this is extortion, or this is theft. So coming to the next aspect, that is criminal misappropriation. Section 403 of the Indian Penal Code refers to criminal misappropriation. So what happens over here, it's a very simple thing. Someone dishonestly oh, sorry for that, some one second, someone dishonestly misappropriates property, okay, or converts the same to the use of his own property. Okay, you gave a land to someone, for example Dhruv gave a land to Chitransh and said मैं गाँव जा रहा हूँ, please मेरी ज़मीन का ध्यान रखना. When he comes back he sees that that land has been used for factory, therefore Chitransh has used Dhruv's land. Okay, what you say, dishonestly misappropriated and used Dhruv's land to create a factory. So therefore Dhruv can later on say that Chitransh dishonestly misappropriated my property. For example, तुम लोग किसी को फ़ोन देते हो, you tell him कि यार ठीक है तू फ़ोन कर ले चलेगा, but if he gets into your gallery and if he formats your phone, he does something annoying with it, photos निकालता है, obnoxious videos निकालता है, something, then he is dishonestly misappropriating with your property. Am I correct? Sorry, am I correct is a very wrong question. Am I clear to you guys? Okay, and this property should also be MP, that is movable property. Okay, so coming down to the next part that is known as defamation. Okay, defamation मतलब तन्मयी ने मुझे गाली दी, हो गया defamation start. But the problem is in defamation you should always prove you should always prove the intention behind defamation. The important aspect in defamation, we'll discuss cheating one moment, but yeah, in defamation you have to be very clear about what you are actually saying. If you are saying a certain thing, it should have an intention which is which is resulting in harming someone's reputation. Okay, so what happens is, for example, these are exceptions to that. प्रेस में कोई कह रहा है कि मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ, it will not amount to harm someone's reputation. Public conduct or public servants. Okay, now if Arnab Goswami is saying something tomorrow in the press, a said person can manage to register a case of defamation. But what happens is the plea of Arnab Goswami in the court will be, I am exercising my right of press, my right of journalism, and therefore I am only saying what is true, what is the conduct of the public servant. Touching any public questions, obviously you can relate the same to Arnab Goswami's example. The next exception is proceedings of the court. Okay, proceedings, court as a definition is always known as an open court. It is unless and until the court decides that a certain proceeding, a rape case or a murder case, has to be decided in camera, that is known as private. Every court proceeding is a public affair, and if anything from the court comes out, it is proper in nature. Merit of public performance. तुम तीनों को आज जाकर एक पद्मश्री मिला, तुम लोग के बारे में किसी ने कहा कि इसके पापा ऐसे थे, इसकी मम्मी ऐसी थी, लेकिन ये तो बहुत अच्छा निकला, इसने पद्मश्री जीत लिया, ऐसा लिखा. यू कैनॉट से दैट ही डिफेम्ड योर पेरेंट्स. यू कैन ओनली से that it is a merit of my public performance. This is all subject to the arguments that happen in the court. Arising out of lawful authority. The press is a lawful authority which is bound by an act to express their opinion. So they are arising out of their lawful authority. Accusing in good faith. कोर्ट में अगर आप जाके किसी पे एलिगेशन लगाते हो दैट इसने मुझे मारा, इसने मुझे गलत तरीके से देखा है, इसने मुझे गलत तरीके से असॉल्ट किया है, you are making an allegation which will then be decided by the court. Okay, on the basis of merits, on the basis of you standing in the witness box, on the basis of questions and answers interchange between each other. But understand one thing, can you register a case when certain allegations are leveled against you? The answer is no. You have a provision in law itself. अगर आपके खिलाफ कोई allegation level up कर रहा है in the court, you have a right to reply to those allegations in that case itself. So you cannot register a case of defamation at that moment. Imputation made in good faith. Good faith we all have discussed earlier. Good faith का मतलब होता है मैंने तो कभी ऐसा सोचा ही नहीं, मैं तो तेरा भला ही चाह रहा था. But therefore we say intention and reputation. Okay, these two things combined will only, intention resulting in harming a reputation will only, these two things combined will only result in defamation. The last point as an exception, caution intended for good of person and public good. कॉशन इंटेंडेड फॉर गुड ऑफ पर्सन एंड पब्लिक गुड. आज यहाँ पे भूकंप आने वाली है, किसी पॉलिटिशियन ने यहाँ पे लैंड इरोजन की वजह से सही पैसे नहीं डाले, इसलिए यहाँ पे 6 महीने बाद भूकंप आने की संभावना है. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज द पॉलिटिशियन कम्स अप with a defamation case. The person who printed this news said that if I would not have cautioned the people, we all would have suffered landslides, earthquakes, or whatever. So these are the exceptions and a slight definition of the term defamation. Am I clear, guys? Okay, now we come to section 415, which defines cheating. Okay, what is the definition of cheating? You will never be asked about that. Okay, you will never be asked about that. You have to know the conditions of cheating. The first conditions of cheating is intention. The second condition is deceiving, a deceiving intention, ullu banana. Okay, third condition is fraudulently. Now what is fraudulently? Fraud is never defined in the field of law except in Contract Act. Contract Act deals with civil matters. We are right now dealing with criminal matters. Fourth point, dishonestly induces to. Okay, dishonest intention we have seen, dishonest inducement also we have seen. I tell you कि इस प्रॉपर्टी में जरा 5 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट कर, 5 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट करना अच्छा रहेगा, बट लेटर ऑन आई कम टू नो दैट कंपनी इज योर्स ओनली, यू वांटेड 5 lakhs to create your own benefit. Dishonestly induces to deliver a property or retain a property. Okay, so let us take some examples in fraud. Okay, let us take some examples in fraud which are, sorry, in cheating, which are actually a little bit interesting. Okay, so in cheating I would like to take an example that A, by falsely pretending to be in civil service. So one second, let me just take the marker. Okay, yeah, okay, A by falsely, so his intention is clear, false intention. And then the question was A by falsely pretending to be in Z's service, in Z's in Z's service. So A is deceiving the civil services by falsely being in Z service. Now we read the question much ahead. To be in civil service intentionally deceives Z. So again we got the word deceived, first condition satisfied, and thus dishonestly induces to, in dishonestly induces Z to let him have on credit goods, let him have some goods. Goods is a property. Okay, let him have the goods, so either he is delivering it or he is retaining it. So this thing Z would not have done if he would have been in if he would have been in A's position right now. I know this problem is being complicated. I'll read out the problem as fluent as possible, just stay with me. Okay, A, by falsely pretending to be in the civil service, intentionally deceives Z and thus dishonestly induces Z to let him have some goods which he does not mean to pay. Therefore, A is guilty of cheating Z. So have you broken down the conditions right now, or should I come again one more time slowly? What do you guys want me to do? Guys, you can tell me what should I do. Should I repeat the thing one more time? Yeah, I'll again repeat it. A, by falsely pretending to be in Z's in civil service. Okay, so he is right now deceiving fraudulently. Sorry, he is right now committing a fraud on the civil services because he is falsely pretending to be in the civil service. Okay, am I right or not? We'll move it step by step. Give me a yes or no. Okay, so A, by falsely pretending to be in the civil service, so fraudulently का point अभी we take it. The next aspect, intentionally deceives Z. Deceiving भी पता चल गया, so deceiving आ गया, fraudulently आ गया. Intentionally deceiving Z आया, तो you got the intention also. So the first three conditions are satisfied. अब बचा क्या है? Dishonest inducement, delivery of the property, and to omit or do. So one moment, we'll move on to that. So I hope I'll just repeat the question till deception. Tell me yes or no. A, by falsely pretending to be in the civil service, intentionally deceives Z. Have you understood this much? Okay. We move on to the next part. And thus dishonestly induces Z. So have you understood this much? Dishonestly induces Z. Okay. You have understood dishonestly induces Z to let him have some goods for which he does not want to pay. उसने ए ने जेड को कहा कि मुझे कुछ प्रॉपर्टी दे देना जो मुझे चाहिए, ठीक है, बट उसका इंटेंशन बिल्कुल पे करने का नहीं है. सो दैट मीन्स ही इज गेटिंग अ प्रॉपर्टी डिलीवर्ड टू हिमसेल्फ, करेक्ट और नॉट? लेट इट बी 20 apples, 10 apples. Okay, so delivery of property is done. Now the fourth condition, to do or omit to do which he would not do in his normal course. Okay, तो क्या Z नॉर्मली किसी को एप्पल देकर पैसे बगैर लिए अपना बिजनेस चलाएगा क्या? नो, द आंसर कम्स नो. ओके, सो व्हाट इज ए डूइंग राइट नाउ? ए ने जेड को पटाकर 20 एप्पल ले लिए. उसका काम है कि वो उस चीज़ को अभी खाएगा और पैसे नहीं देगा. सो देयर फॉर द फोर्थ कंडीशन, to do or one second, yeah, the fourth condition right here, to do or omit to do which he would not do will cause harm to that person. So this condition is also satisfied. So combining all these things, then comes the aspect Therefore A has committed fraud on Z. और एक बार should I repeat it? Okay, one more time. I'll repeat it one last time. Okay. A by falsely pretending to be in the civil service. So we have the fraud. We have the condition fraud taken into consideration. A by falsely pretending to be in the civil service intentionally deceives Z. तो intention मिल गया, deceiving मिल गया, and thus dishonestly induces Z. Dishonest inducement जो fourth condition है वो भी मिल गया. Now what conditions do we require for cheating? We require some property to be retained और कोई ऐसी चीज़ जो Z कभी खुद नहीं करता लेकिन A ने की है. ओके, सो व्हाट हैपेंस, अभी Z कहता है, अभी A कहता है तू मुझे थोड़े थोड़े एप्पल्स दे दे तेरे फैक्ट्री से. Z इज बिलीविंग दैट मैं तो इसको दे रहा हूँ तो मुझे तो पैसा मिलेगा. ओके, बट व्हाट डज A डू? हे A टेक्स द एप्पल्स एंड ही गोज अवे, therefore causing some harm to the body, mind and reputation or property of Z. Did you understand, Dhruv, right now? I know it's very complicated because cheating में इतने सारे conditions I am combining everything in one example. Sorry guys, crash course है so it has to go with this speed. I am combining everything in one example. चाहिए तो एक दूसरा example. Can we take one more example? Are you guys ready for that? Okay, we take one more example. Okay, so I am sitting with you in the class right now. Okay, the sir has told me to teach a lecture. Dev sir has told me to teach you a lecture. Okay, I told him that I am going to teach you law, but मैं अंदर आके क्लास में आके डांस करना चालू कर देता हूँ. तो my intention is clear, मुझे देव सर से पैसा लेना है, and I am deceiving him by being a lawyer. Okay, अंदर आके मैं आपके सामने डांस कर रहा हूँ. So that is committing some amount of fraud. My conduct is fraudulent in nature. फिर मैं बाहर जाके देव सर को बोल रहा हूँ सर मेरा लेक्चर हो गया, आप मेरे को मेरा फीस दे दो. देव सर gives me my fees for one lecture. Therefore he delivers a property, मतलब पैसा. He delivers a property to me. अब देव सर को अगर नॉर्मली पता होता कि मैं अंदर डांस कर रहा हूँ तो क्या वो मुझे पैसे देते? नहीं देते. बट मैंने अंदर डांस करके क्या किया है? मैन्यूवर क्लासेस का नाम खराब किया है. देयरफॉर देव सर के आई हैव हार्म्ड देव सर्स बॉडी, माइंड और रेपुटेशन इन सम वे. ओके, देयरफॉर आई हैव चीटेड देव सर. इज इट लिटिल बिट क्लियर राइट नाउ? Okay, so that's it for the criminal part. Criminal breach of trust is a very simple topic, guys. It is very simple. It states that whoever entrusts property with some dominion over other property. So that's a very simple thing. अगर आप मुझे मेरा phone for example देते हो, okay, you give me, let me be very clear in English first, then I'll translate it in Hindi. Okay, whoever being in any manner entrusted with property or with any dominion over property dishonestly misappropriates or converts to his own use that property, or dishonestly uses or disposes of that property, is known as criminal misappropriation of trust. Up this part will obviously confuse you with the part that is known as criminal misappropriation. Now understand, I told you earlier also, it is all a dictionary. Criminal misappropriation is section 403 and breach of trust is 405. वहाँ पे हम ये डिस्कस करते हैं कि मेरे प्रॉपर्टी को कैसा इसने मिसयूज़ किया. यहाँ पे आपके भरोसे के वजह से प्रॉपर्टी कैसे मिसयूज़ किया. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू टेक द केस इनटू द कोर्ट, इफ़ यू से दैट इसने मेरा भरोसा तोड़ा, देन द केस कम्स अंडर सेक्शन 405. इफ़ यू से इसने मेरी प्रॉपर्टी ली और उसको मिसयूज़ किया, then it section comes under criminal misappropriation, that is section number 403. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture, and this was very quick. I know it's a very big brainstorming session, so we could not get into the cross examinations and other part also. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and secondly I would, as an advice, guys, please go through it again and again, because conditions are the only thing that will help you solve MCQs. Okay, so am I very clear about it? All the best for you guys to go ahead with law and with all these things to your future dreams. I think I'll be conducting one more lecture which may consist of the Contract Act, and that will twist your brain in a very big manner, because उसमें बहुत ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. The amount of focus you guys have put right now is okay, but in contract that I need 10 times or 20 times more of the focus which you have given me here. I hope you guys revise this well, go through this, go through some examples which I gave you. If you have some problems, I don't know how you can communicate to me again, but if you have some problems, try to get into the only into one format, that is conditions, and understand you will be posed with MCQs which are related to culpable homicide differentiating with murder. Okay, understand those aspects very clearly. All the best for you into criminal law. Understand one thing, criminal law में 565 sections के आसपास है. You guys are giving the entrance to that. You cannot know 565 sections on the first day in 2 hours itself, because lawyers who have practiced for 80 years, sorry, not 80 years, 60 years, also do not know all the sections by heart. Whatever you learn, give it your full energy, give it your full thought, and learn the conditions. That's all I can say. I think I'm talking too much towards this session. I hope you guys study well, and this lecture was great. Thank you guys.